If you've got a case that needs super detection, well, here come the capers and we never lose. 8D is first, I'm cool and I'm clever. Just like a bloodhound, he'll sniff out the clues. Then there is Bugs, I'm tough and I'm feisty. He takes care of trouble cause he's super strong. And Tuesday's the one who's all full of sunshine. Me and those animals sure get along. And Dockie's got the looks and the brains to catch the clues.
Ah, come on.
We're the kids, we're the kids, we're the kids from Caper. We'll race to your place, solve your case every time. We're the kids, we're the kids, we're the kids from Caper. For in a war evermore against crime. We're the kids from Caper. We'll race to your place, solve your case every time. We're the kids, we're the kids, we're the kids from Caper. For in a war evermore against crime. We're the kids from Caper. We love the crook. We're the kids from Caper. We handle the bad stuff. We're the kids from Caper. We fight the fight. We're the kids from Caper. Get the goods on the hood. We're the kids from Caper.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
All right. Welcome to one and all. Good evening. This is The Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom. You know what? If you enjoy talking about music, movies, and mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and tonight, 90s, well, you've come to the right place. So I am super excited this evening. This is you know what? I was invited to appear on this gentleman's live stream a while back, and I had just the most fun talking with Krazy Joe. So that's my guest tonight. But before I bring him on board, let me quickly see who is out here. We've got Superfan Miles High, Superfan Dave Claroni, Superfan Georgia Ayers, Hungry Jerk, Shannon Burns, Ed Meyer, Superfan Spike Spikerson, Emily Miller's here. Thrush Pondo Pons is in the house. Aloe Duarte's here. Superfan Dominic D, Superfan Tracy Roth Myers, Superfan Spike Spikerson, Barry King from BK on the Air. Awesome to have you here this evening. Superfan Jill Carter, my good buddy from down in South Carolina, Danny Staten. Good to have you here. Let's see who's out. Miles High is here. Superfan Miles High, Superfan Dominic D, Superfan Lance Chaffin, who asked me, where's my Battle of the Network Stars live stream? I'll get to it. one must have patience. These things take a little time to put together. And whereas I have guests on, I want to have a topic that will be something that we have in common. And so it's coming, but it may be a few weeks away, Lance. But thanks for asking. Daryl Johnston's here. Adrian James is here. Holy cow. The chat room, Superfan Nancy D, James Dye, who, by the way, said, I have it on good authority that my first issue of Remind Magazine is coming soon. Yes, it is. I reached out after the drawing last week, James, and talked to my contact over at Remind Magazine, and I know that they are working on getting that first issue out to you as we speak. Congratulations again on winning that one-year subscription to Remind Magazine. Anyway, Daryl Johnston's here. He's been here since the very beginning. Superfan John Collins. I wanted to say, by the way, Daryl Johnston, what a guy. He's always reminding folks to hit the like button. Thank you for doing that. I know that I don't say thank you enough for that. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and do that. And thanks, Daryl, for always reminding folks about that. Let's see. I think that's it. I mentioned Superfan John Collins, Jasper 1999, Ed Myers. Oh, I'm going to miss a few folks, and I apologize for that because we've got 36 people already in the live stream. So tonight, because I have a guest and we have a very full hour plus of content for you, you know what? I'm not going to be able to just kind of answer questions as they come up. But if you put a Q in front of your comments in the chat that you want me to answer, I'll do my best to go back towards the tail end of the live stream tonight and answer as many of those questions as I can. So with that said, I've got a feller here. Let me bring him on by the name of Krazy Joe. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. Better now that I've got you on the horn with me.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Got a nice Diet Coke to swig. So things are good. So I reached out to Joe, probably a couple weeks ago, and asked him if he'd join. And I said, what would you like to talk about if we had you on? And he mentioned a show that I hadn't thought a lot about for a very long time. And probably one of the reasons why I haven't is this was a show that was in, it was just kind of in the Phantom Zone, literally. A media version of the Phantom Zone after it ran its 4-year run because of all sorts of logistical issues between Warner Brothers and the Salkinds. But anyway, we're talking about Superboy. And I don't know. This is going to be a pretty fun conversation because I can't wait to hear your memories. I do have some memories of this show. So, without any further, before we go there, I want to talk Superboy, but I also want to tell folks about your channel. So let me pull up a couple things real quick here, if I can, Joe.
Sure.
Excuse me. Pretty sure I had. Yes, there it is. You want to talk a little bit about your channel, if you would, Joe?
Yeah, well, my channel's kind of in a state of flux right now. You'll notice I haven't posted a video in 2 weeks. Part of the reason is I'm kind of rethinking my channel. I don't know what the end result is going to be, but I'm kind of rethinking it. But it's been pop culture and very heavily on movies and movie discussion. Movie reviews. My favorite videos that got the least amount of views, like nobody was watching them, but they were my favorite, was my my good friend, Mr. Dave Perillo. Some people may know Dave Perillo. He's a very popular pop culture artist. If you Google his name, you'll find his art. But he and I both have a great love of old metal lunchboxes.
Yeah.
So we were doing a weekly segment called the Lunchbox Bunch, where we were looking back at old lunchboxes. We loved doing it. Nobody watched it. So
it's frustrating as a creator, isn't it, to put together a video and think it's just the best thing ever. And just have had so much fun making it, and even rewatching it, it's fun. And then you upload it and publish it to YouTube, and your community tells you maybe it's not their favorite thing.
And I had a friend who said the conventional wisdom that I am given on my channel is that my channel is too diverse. They said, find one thing. You got to do one thing and do that one thing over and over and over, and that's what your audience wants. And maybe I'm too pig-headed. I don't take that advice because I got a lot of interests, so I kind of go all over the place. And this friend said, you should just make it a lunchbox channel. Just do the lunchboxes, nothing but the lunchboxes. And I said, so you're saying I should take my least popular segment and that should be the whole channel? Yeah. I didn't take that advice.
So the advice is sound in terms of niching down, right? I mean, that's something that I've tried to do is, you know, I focus on TV shows and movies from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And as tempted as I am to typically go outside of those parameters, I try not to, which is why I've like never covered one of my all-time favorite shows, Get a Life with Chris Elliott. But the counsel on going with your least popular video is not great. What I've heard people say is go look at your analytics and let the community tell you where to focus. What are your most popular videos and do more of those.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking of doing?
Well, the kind of channel I really want to do, and here's the thing, I can't. The kind of channel I want to do is the kind of channel that I can't do as a married father of two.
Yeah.
But my favorite channels to watch, one of my favorite channels out there is my good friend, Mr. Adam the Woo. I don't know how many people know Adam the Woo, but he travels around. He travels. He goes to old little towns, off the beaten path, attractions, theme parks, you know, and that's the kind of videos he does, and those are the kind of videos I like to watch. But he's a single guy.
Yeah,
he can do that. I can't do that.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out how to reinvent myself.
Well, I think it's always good to be looking at with even established YouTube creators that are having a level, and you. I think you have it. I think your channel is phenomenal as is, but I think you always have to have an eye towards reinventing yourself. So a little bit and staying fresh, right? So
right.
Good luck with that. I just snagged a clip from one of your more recent videos, and I'll play just a bit of it, Joe, and then we'll just talk a little more about your channel before we go on to the topic of the evening. But hold tight. Being a big Batman fan, I couldn't resist here.
Good morning, Megapodlings. It's Crazy Joe on a snowy January day, coming to you from outside Little Caesars. We're here to check out the new Batman calzone. See the movie, eat the pizza. Anyone who knows me knows I am a sucker for a good marketing gimmick. Yeah, this is happening.
I was given a Batman mini poster. Look at that. And apparently there's multiple posters. Every time you come, you can potentially get a different poster. And there it is. The Batman calzone.
So I had to play that one. I had to play it because, first off, I like you. I'm a sucker for anything that is merchandising, bat merchandising. And the minute I saw that, I'm like, oh, got to get a bat calzone. And secondly, my two sons last summer worked at Little Caesars, so I went to Little Caesars connection as well.
Well, one of my favorites, and I did a video, and in fact, oh God, there's a side story here. A couple years ago, to celebrate the third season of Stranger Things, certain Burger Kings put out the upside down Whopper. It was just a Whopper served upside down. That was it. And I thought, this is so stupid, but I love it. It's such a wonderful little stupid gimmick. And I went out, I did a video on the upside down Whopper. And a friend of mine messages me about 6 months ago and says, you need to watch this video. And some channel had put up a video of the worst fast food marketing ideas, the top 20 worst fast food marketing ideas. And one of them it was like a countdown. One of them was the upside down Whopper, but when they got to the upside down Whopper, lo and behold, to my great surprise, I'm treated to an image of myself eating the upside down Whopper, because whoever made this video went and found my video, and I became the face of the upside down Whopper then in this guy's video.
That's too funny. That is too funny. I'm just a sucker for all that stuff as well. It gets me excited for whatever whatever movies being promoted as well. I just can't help it. Folks, the best way to find Joe's channel on YouTube, how would they go about finding? Would it be just search Megapodtastic in the YouTube search bar?
Yeah, Megapodtastic. It's youtube.com/Megapodtastic or Megapodtastic in the search field. Little trivia: we used to be called Megapodzilla. We were called Megapodzilla for years, and then I got a cease and desist from Toho. So
yeah. How's that? Yeah, that's an honor, really, to get a cease and desist from Toho.
I like to imagine that there were a bunch of businessmen sitting around a conference room in Japan watching my videos going, "Ooh, this will not do. This will not do." Call the lawyer.
I imagine they go after. I heard you tell that story a while back in a podcast I listened to. And I imagine they just go after everybody that has Zilla at the end of something, right?
Apparently.
Holy cow. Did you frame the letter, or do you have it at least tucked away safely?
It was an email. And I also found out that the law firm that they hired, because several of my cousins are lawyers, and when I talked to them, I found out that that law firm was having major layoffs. And he said, because we were 9 years we were Podzilla without any peep from Toho. He said, I bet a bunch of lawyers at that law firm needed to look busy one day, and they went and they found you.
He's probably right. All right. Topic of the evening: Superboy TV show ran 1998 to 2002, I think, right?
No, 1988.
1988. Oh, right, 1988. Yeah. Excuse me. This is within the. I was thinking, for some reason, but yeah, it has to be 88 because it was followed by Lois and Clark.
Yes.
And there's a story there Gerard tells. We'll get to it when we do trivia. But anyway, yes, 88 to 92. And I have a quick promo that we'll play, and then we'll talk more about it, Joe.
Okay.
America needs a new hero. Someone exciting. Someone young.
You are a college boy, aren't you, boy?
Someone strong.
I forgot to tell you, this college boy is into pumping iron.
Someone with a body of steel.
You expected a glass jaw?
The superhero of the 90s is here. And his name is Superboy.
All right, there we go. Promo for the very first season of Superboy that ran from 1988 to 89, and the very first Superboy. So talk to me a little bit about Superboy, how you ran across it, and were you a huge fan? And we can talk about the two Superboys, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I got the DVDs right here. Yeah, I was there day one when it first aired. I think I first found out about it due to the ad in the TV book. You know, back in the 80s, the TV book was a big deal. My dad would never spring for TV Guide. We always got the one that came with the Philadelphia Inquirer. But it was like Sunday, you'd tear through that. And in the fall, it was especially exciting. What's the new shows? Yeah. And there was a full page ad for Superboy. And I was a comic book guy. I loved superheroes. And I was like, well, I'm watching this. There's no way I'm not. So
yeah,
I was there in front of the TV every week.
I think I did not stumble across that initial ad because I probably came into it a little late. I think I probably started watching it midway through the first season, and immediately really connect. I loved the actress who played Lena Lang. I thought she was phenomenal.
Yes, I had the great honor of interviewing her on our audio podcast once, and she was just awesome. Stacey Hyden.
Yeah. And she continues to work. I was checking to see what she's been up to see if she's one of these where are they now kind of stories. And maybe she is for a future video, but she really has never gone anywhere. She continues to work in like all the time in the industry. She's been very busy ever since she got her start on Superboy.
Yeah. She was on Heroes. She was on True Blood.
Sequest, right?
Sequest. Yeah. Oh, funny story about Sequest. Superboy shot in Florida, shot in Orlando, shot at the Disney MGM studios, in fact. And I heard Stacey Hyden hated living in Florida. I heard this from Gerard Christopher. Gerard Christopher told me this.
Yeah.
She did not like living in Florida. And she was very happy to leave Florida when the show ended. And she went and did Sequest and was on Sequest for one season. And for the second season, they decided to move production to Florida.
Right. Yeah.
And she left the series.
Right. Well, it did. Sequest ran for 2 seasons, right?
3.
3? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started watching it, as did I. And what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts about, because there was a change in Superboys from season 1 to season 2. We had John Haymes Newton for season 1, and then Gerard Christopher took over for the remaining seasons. What were your thoughts? Did you have a favorite? Did you like them equally? What do you think about that?
I like Gerard Christopher better. Honestly, I think the series just got a lot better in season 2. I mean, if we're being honest, season 1 is not a great show. Doesn't mean there's no highlights. There's some great moments in season 1. And John Newton, he was fine. Nothing wrong with him. But the storytelling, I think, got better. Something started to gel a little bit more when Gerard Christopher came in.
I was watching some, because it's on Tubi, and thanks for pointing that out to me, because for the longest time, as I mentioned earlier, this wasn't available anywhere. You couldn't watch it anywhere. I think Gerard Christopher was selling DVDs, bootleg DVDs off of his website.
He was. He was selling them at conventions too. Their VHS tapes at conventions.
Yeah, and for that reason, a lot of folks didn't see it for a long, long time, and I didn't. And as I was watching, going back and revisiting this show, a couple things did strike me. One is that season 1 was a little rough. Particularly, I went and watched the first 3 episodes of the season, which I understand that's not the order they were filmed in. I think episode 5 was actually the pilot, original or first episode that was filmed, but the acting's stiff, the storytelling's a little, it's rough. And as they moved into season 2 and 3, I noticed that it seemed like they had some folks from the comic industry, like Carrie Bates and Dennis O'Neil, get involved in the program. Yeah, exactly. Which is always a good sign if you can actually bring in the comic book people. They seem to understand the material better than anyone else.
I remember I met Gerard Christopher at a number of conventions back in the late 90s. He was really hitting the convention scene hard in those days. I haven't seen him in a long time. I don't think he does cons anymore. Or if he does, not on the East Coast. But he told me that they couldn't make a single change to a script without calling and getting it cleared with DC Comics. DC was very hands-on. Obviously, anytime you adapt something to television, it's going to change. It's not going to be just like the comics. But this show, for what it was, if you can view it under the prism of what it was, it is one of the most faithful to the comics adaptations put through that prism, of course. But yeah.
Well, I'll play another little clip here. This isn't a news piece that was done when they made the switch over from John Haymes Newton, to Gerard Christopher from season 1 to 2.
The popular syndicated TV show Superboy is based on the superhero's life as a young adult, going to college and learning to be a newspaper reporter. 23-year-old John Newton played the dual roles of Superboy and Clark Kent during the entire first year of production. But apparently, going into the second year of production of Superboy, producers had trouble reaching a contract agreement with John Newton, and so they went searching for a new Superboy. Well, meet the new Superboy, 29-year-old Gerard Christopher. He looks a lot like the old Superboy, doesn't he? At a news conference today at Universal Studios, Florida, executive producer Ilya Salkind said the switch to Gerard could actually help the show.
I think Gerard is going to bring basically experience, that's the word. It's not anything else, it's experience, to Clark and to Superboy.
Gerard is no stranger to TV, movies, or stage. His credits include a starring role in the movies Dangerously Close and Tomboy, and he says now he is ready to take on the Superboy role.
I can't tell you how excited I was when this happened. It was just one of those things that if you have to imagine what kind of a part you would want to kind of happen to you, this is it.
As for the switch in Superboys from John Newton to Gerard, well, Gerard says it should really be very little problem.
People talk about that a little. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think people are not going to look so much at the actor that's doing the job. I think they're going to look more at the character.
Also new this year, the studios where the show will be shot. Production has moved from Disney Studios to Universal Studios, Florida. The sets for the shows are just about complete. Filming will start this Monday. And as you can see, Gerard Christopher is already rehearsing.
Gotta go.
You know, I'm with you. I really like Gerard Christopher in this role. I think he, it's interesting. I want to share all these little factoids, but I built it into the trivia, so I'm going to be careful there on that. But there's some pretty cool things about Gerard. And he has, you mentioned he hits the Comic-Con circuits and all those nostalgia events and has been really active in it. And for the longest time was maintained a website. And I think he still does, but where he was selling particular pieces of memorabilia. I caught an interview that I think he did relatively recently where he was actually considering selling one of his Superman costumes complete with a Gerard Christopher mannequin because he was a model before he was an actor, and there's a mannequin that is actually modeled after him. So he has the mannequin, he has the costume, he's going to sell it as a unit, and that would be pretty cool to add to the Hall of Nostalgia. I don't know if I have the bucks for that, but
I can understand the desire to sell it because you make a good buck there, but I'd almost rather see him donated to the Superman Museum in Metropolis, Illinois.
Well, he said that it's an either or kind of thing. He's toying with the idea, right? Because he could make some money, and I guess it depends on what his financial situation's like, whether he can afford to be that magnanimous. But he also mentioned potentially just donating it to something like that. So when you think about Superboy, you mentioned that you think it was one of the more faithful adaptations that we saw on television. How would you compare it to what followed it right after Lois and Clark?
I was never a Lois and Clark fan. I tried. As a Superman fan, I tried real hard. But I just could never gel to that show. I liked some things about it. Like, I think I played a game with a friend of mine once. They said using only actors who've already played the parts. Using only people who've already played the parts. Cast your perfect Superman movie. And the one actor from Lois and Clark that I think is my favorite of all the castings is Lane Smith as Perry White. I think he was my favorite Perry White. But other than I never really I like Superboy better. Obviously Lois and Clark, but here's the funny thing: Lois and Clark had a higher budget.
Yes,
but they also cheaped out a lot because they would try to avoid showing Superman flying. They would do the thing where he would just go off.
Yeah. They do the George Reeves thing. Looks like we might be having a little technical difficulty with Joe there. Let's see if we can get your audio back, Joe.
I apologize. I moved too fast and hit my mute button. But yeah, Superboy had a much lower budget, but they weren't shy on showing him flying or using his. I mean, now today's today's TV viewers are very, very finicky when it comes to special effects. I always say you gotta remember the era. You gotta remember when it was made. So the special effects on Superboy don't look great by today's standards, but they were perfectly effective for what they were at that time, I think.
Yeah. I think they were, to your point, you just have to remember the era in which the show was created and hold it to the standard of the times. And for the late 80s, it was all right. It was a show that was filmed on video instead of film. So it has that look to it. But I thought the special effects, there are moments where you go, oh, but to your point, there wasn't nothing that they were afraid of trying to show in Superboy as an episode I just watched was the first Mitzel Plitzik. I'm going to say the name wrong. I always say it wrong, but the first episode of that with him in there, and they did a lot of fun things in that with the character popping in and out of the dimensions and that kind of stuff. I agree with you. I think it was very faithful, way more faithful than Lois and Clark. There's things I liked about Lois and Clark too. Yeah, I'm a big Terry Hatcher fan. I thought she did a fine job as Lois. And I'm a big Bruce Campbell fan, and he would show up from time to time. So there's things there that I enjoyed. But to your point, I think it didn't really want to embrace its comic book heritage as much as Superboy was willing to do that. And as such, the TV show was adapted into a comic book that had I think it ran until the end of the series, roughly around the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Any final thoughts before we move topics for a minute, Joe?
Not really. Well, you mentioned the Mixospitalik episode. That was one of the stronger episodes from season 1 because you had Michael J. Pollard guest starring as Mixospitalik, and I just watched a couple. Well, actually, one of them's really good. One of them's absolutely terrible. But there were 2 episodes in season 2 that had one of my absolute favorite stand-up comedians, Gilbert Gottfried, guest starred as Nick Nack. Yes, and the first Nick Nack episode is so much fun. The second one's a clip show. The second one, not so great. But man, what fun it was watching him. And then, oddly enough, he would go on to be the voice of Mixospitalik in the animated series.
Right.
So.
It's all connected. It's all connected. What did you think of the Bizarro episodes? I'm a sucker for Bizarro, so I watched those.
I liked them. It was. I think it was the first time we've ever seen Bizarro in live action.
Yes.
Obviously, they've done it. They tried doing a Bizarro version on Smallville. I don't think that really worked very well. And he's, spoiler alert, Bizarro is the villain this season on Superman and Lois. So yeah, but that was the first time we'd ever seen a live action Bizarro.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just thought it was fun. And going back to that whole, just embracing the comic book and all the fun that comes with comics. The world is, there's no special effects budget in comic books. So you can do whatever you want. And they tried to do that with Superboy to the extent that they could. So, all right, let's do this. A reminder to folks, I think I saw one question one comment in the chat with a Q on it. I will get to that a little bit later. That one was from John Collins. If there's others, I'll go back and scan it and catch those as well. But I'm not seeing that many. I'm mostly seeing conversation, which is fine. But if you want me to answer any questions or Joe to answer any questions later on, you got to put a Q in front of them so we can quickly identify them as we scroll through the chat. So we're going to take a quick break. I've got a few messages from sponsors as well as a little slideshow about one of my favorite things that I love to buy when I'd go to the corner market when I was a kid. So we'll start with that and we'll have a few sponsored messages. They're not real sponsors, more vintage sponsors from the good old days. And then we'll come back and we're going to do a segment that I like to call favorite things. So hold tight, Joe. We'll be back in just a minute.
Okay.
Ever wonder what happens when you click on that little join button and become a super fan of the channel? Well, the thing that you might notice right away is that I do my best to prioritize your comments and respond to them first. It's the very least that I can do. And if you stick around for a while, you'll probably also discover the channel member updates. These are exclusive videos that I do 2 to 3 times a month. You know, I gave away a bunch of Remind magazines during the last one. And we have exclusive live streams from time to time. Not every month, but at least a couple of times each quarter. But more than anything else, you have my total appreciation. I know it's only a couple of bucks, but it takes effort to click on that join button and express your support in that unique way. Here's the current list of channel subscribers who have signed up as members and become super fans of the channel. Thanks again.
Superman with flyaway action. Assembly required. Jor-El, General Zod, and Lex Luthor each sold separately. It's Superman. And this is Wonder Woman. You can make her fly with flyaway action. Assembly required. Wonder Woman. You can make her fly. Superman and Wonder Woman, both with a flyaway action pack. All figures sold separately by Mego.
Lex Luthor has Superman trapped. He's using kryptonite to destroy his powers.
Now you'll tell me why Superman peanut butter tastes so great.
Never. So fresh roasted, so creamy, so yummy.
Then its secret will be mine, all mine.
Foiled again. Just wait, Superman. I'll find out.
Superman peanut butter. Its strength is its great taste.
Supergirl has the ability to save millions upon millions of lives with her great superpowers. Americans have the ability to save thousands of lives, one at a time.
16,000 people die each year in car crashes that don't have to. Safety belts could save their lives. Safety belts could also prevent thousands from being horribly disfigured or crippled for life. So buckle up. Your life is in your hands.
The legendary adventure continues. A vicious alien has eyes for Lana.
He has come for me, but I must kill the others first.
Powerless. Can Superboy save his friends?
That creature took Lana.
I waited so long for the Red One to come.
Please let me go.
I've killed them both.
On the next adventure of Superboy.
Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the battle of the Superpowers Collection. Can it be the Supermobile on the attack, the Lexor 7 armed with kryptonite? Will the Supermobile repel those deadly rays?
You bet. Ready for battle. Activate RAM.
New from Kenner's Superpowers Collection. Vehicles and figures with power action, each sold separately. Flying lessons for Penguin, fish bait for Luthor. Can the Supermobile defeat the Lexor 7? You decide.
All right, we're back. So, as I teased before the commercial break, we're moving on to a segment that I like to call my favorite things, a few of my favorite things. And this is where I ask you to share a few of your favorite things. So I've got 5 questions. We'll go rapid fire so we can get to a couple other really important things. Because time is just flying, just like so first question for you is, what is your favorite nostalgic television show and why?
Probably, I don't know. I've always been a big Star Trek fan. So, but the funny thing is, Star Trek almost isn't nostalgic for me because it's like, it's omnipresent. I don't know that I could call it nostalgic because there's never been a time where it's been gone, for me. I don't know. So if I don't know, that's the obvious answer, but then there's things like the Different Strokes and and was that Perfect Strangers, these shows that like I loved as a kid that I don't see as much of anymore.
Yeah. For me, Trek, if you're talking about the original series, I do think with Shatner, Kelly, and Nimoy, I think, yeah, you can feel nostalgic about that. I whittle my choices down to, and I change it on the day, depending on how I feel, to Batman, Star Trek, and Andy Griffith. But totally get why Different Strokes would be in there. That was such a big show when it debuted in the late 70s.
Yeah, yeah.
Favorite actor or actress from that era?
Shatner.
Yeah.
Also, this may come as a surprise to some people, but I got a little bit of a thing for Mr. T.
I had no idea that you were a Mr. T fan. All right. Was there a particular TV program, Joe, if that is your name, that brought the whole family together?
We used to all watch shows like I don't know. There were a few sitcoms that the whole family would watch together. I remember everybody watching Alf. Everybody watching, and you know what? They aired back to back. Alf and the Hogan Family, like Monday
Yeah.
nights, they would come on back to back. The whole family was watching that. That not too many though, because my dad had different tastes. He, a lot of the shows I wanted to watch didn't interest him, so he would
Yeah.
he would maybe not be in the room. But yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely remember everybody sitting around on Monday nights watching Alf and the Hogan Family.
I recall my dad wasn't much of a TV watcher either, unless it was sports. But on Saturdays, occasionally a rerun of some old show would come on, like F Troop or something, and he would sit down and watch it, and then I'd come and join him, and that was kind of where we bonded. It turns out he was a huge Andy Griffith fan. I just didn't know it because he didn't watch it, very much. But as he's gotten older, he and I have that love as well. But yeah, those are great shows. Alf and what was called Valerie, and then called the Hogan Family. Yeah.
That another one I remember when I was in grade school. Saturday nights, we didn't go out much on Saturday nights. My brother and I, we were kids. We didn't
Yeah.
drive. So the NBC Saturday night lineup, the whole family would be watching Amen with Sherman Hemsley and the Golden
yeah.
Girls and Empty Nest. Those were like shows the whole family would watch.
Love the Golden Girls and Empty Nest. I never got into Amen, and that's because I like the Jeffersons, But anyway, and Saturday nights were, at least I think those are shows that were Golden Girls and Empty Nest came on as Love Boat was kind of dying and near cancellation, but Saturday nights were sacred for my sister and I. We're 10 months apart, so we weren't too, we're pretty much the same age, and we would watch Love Boat and Fantasy Island without fail whenever we could. Love those shows. Okay, and most vivid TV memory, Joe.
Most vivid TV memory. Oh boy, that's tough. That is, man, I don't know. I don't know if it's my most vivid, but I always remember watching. Here's a weird one for you, because I remember this and very few other people do. In fact, I know there's a Philadelphia guy in the chat that I can't find his name now, but somebody said something. I know there's at least one Philly guy here, so maybe he could help me out. I remember watching a show in the late 70s, early 80s. It must have been the mid 80s, but there was a show that aired locally in Philadelphia called Double Muppets Hold the Onions, where they showed 2 episodes of the Muppet Show and a local comedian would host 2 episodes of the Muppet Show. And I can't find, the internet has no record of this show existing, but I remember watching Double Muppets Hold the Onions.
I love the title. If for nothing else, I just love the title. That's awesome.
And I remember vividly that there was a commercial breaks. The title would come up and a big fist would come out, a Muppet fist, like a guy with a Muppet hand, and a fist would come out holding onions.
That's too funny. Okay, that is a pretty vivid television memory. Love it. TV is a blur for me, so it's always interesting to hear what a vivid TV memory is. So when you're not watching nostalgic TV or whipping up something incredible on your YouTube channel, or doing whatever you do in the hall of craziness that's behind you there, Joe, what do you enjoy doing most?
Watching movies, spending time with my kids. This morning was Donuts with Dad. That was great. Got to go to Donuts
I've
with
had
Dad with
those. Those are great.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorite things. We had my wife went out of town for the weekend, and my 6-year-old and I just had a weekend together. That was a lot of fun. But I always say, because I'm a movie guy, I'm at my happiest when I'm in a movie theater. There's something magical about a movie theater. And one thing that's never computed for me, like people say this all the time, and it doesn't compute in my brain, but people will say, is that movie worth seeing in the theater, or is it something I should wait for streaming on? And I'm like, no, you see it in the theater. You see it in the theater. Good movie, bad movie, mediocre movie, it doesn't matter. The theater is the way, man. It's magical. You go in there, you smell the popcorn, the lights go down. It's there's nothing better. I'd rather see a terrible movie in the theater. I'd rather see a great movie in the theater. It doesn't matter. So,
yeah, there certainly is a different experience, right? I remember 15, 20 years ago getting in this huge conversation with a group of guys, and we were talking about how the theater was going to go away, and that the future was going to be, paying money to have it piped into your home from, the internet was relatively new, and we were trying to, figure out how it was going to all play out. And at that time, I was quite certain that the theater wasn't going to make it. And I actually, over the past 3 or 4 years, have changed my mind. Maybe COVID had a little bit to do with it, where first run movies, brand new movies, were showing up day and date on HBO Max and things like that. Dune, I watched Dune very first day it came out. And the experience is not the same. It's completely different. I can't get my family to shut up while I'm trying to watch a movie either.
oh yeah,
There's just distractions. As good as our TV is, there's no way it can replicate that screen. And I have a hard time justifying the caloric intake of popcorn unless I'm at the theater. So
people kept saying to me, "Oh well, COVID did it. COVID killed the theaters because people are used to getting stuff at home now." And I kept saying, "I don't understand that. I don't understand that. When they say you need to be at home, you need to stay home for 2 years, stay in your home, stay in your home. You're telling me that when people can get out again, they're going to want to stay in their home?"
Yeah.
I want out of this place.
Well, I sure hope that that people do embrace the opportunity to go back to theaters, and catching a movie like I don't know your take on the Batman. I think you enjoyed it, but I loved it. I loved it I can't imagine it's going to be out on HBO Max in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be a completely different experience. I know you're less of a dark and more excited about like things like The Flash and that kind of thing, and Shazam and those kinds of easy movies.
I was The Flash. I said The Flash was my most anticipated film of the year, and first they went and bumped it to next year.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
So that threw off my my plans there, and then now it's hard to get excited because the star of the movie keeps getting himself arrested.
Ezra's a bit of a troublemaker. Ezra's here. You know what? A lot of folks will comment on videos. I can't like this show because so and so is involved and that kind of stuff. I just do my darndest to divest myself of whatever their personal life is. I look at actors and actresses for the most part. I don't treat them as heroes. They are part of a machine that creates a product. And as such, I will still enjoy The Flash when it comes out. I better, because Michael Keaton's back. You've got Ben Affleck's final bow. It's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait. And rumor has it the part of the delay is because there might be a particular actor who's been Superman. They might be filming some new scenes there with him in it. That's just a rumor. But I if that was part of the reason for the delay is to add some additional fun stuff to make it, I think what's happened here, and DC's late to the game, even though they created the multiverse or the parallel universes, is they saw the success of Spider-Man, because of that, they're going all in on having as many interesting characters as they can have in that Flash movie. So we'll see what happens.
Maybe Gerard Christopher will show up as.
Wouldn't that be cool? They could have both of them show up. They could have John Newton and Gerard Christopher show up and just say those were in different universes.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do here. I've got to give away something. Folks, I have a new partner in crime. I still have a great working relationship with Remind Magazine, and we'll be giving away some more subscriptions to Remind Magazine. I met with them the other day, and they're all in for giving away a subscription every month to Remind for the next quarter. But I also got a chance to visit with some folks from Tomorrow Publications. Now, my good friend, Hungry Jerk, Tom McCluskey, sent me a couple of copies of, let me see if I pull this out here. There it is. Here's one of them. This is called Retro Fan Magazine.
I believe I first told you about that when you were on my stream.
Maybe you did. And Tom McCluskey sent me a couple of copies of it. It's amazing. Remind Magazine's cool because it just covers like the gamut of nostalgia. Like, I love that magazine. This is like a doctorate course in nostalgia. These guys go pretty darn deep in a bunch of different topics. So, with that said,
got my copy right here.
There you go. It's a great magazine. It doesn't have the circulation of Remind. It's a little magazine. Tomorrow Publications, I get the sense that they're a smaller company, but they do really good stuff. I met with them. Let me show their logo. This is the logo for Retro Fan Magazine. I met with them, and I said, what can we do? I don't want you to pay me to sponsor anything. I don't want that. I love being a fan, right? And once we get involved in them, sponsoring a podcast or a live stream or something like that, then I don't know. I just don't want to do that. But I love the idea of my community getting, being able to win some prizes. And they said, you know what? We've got the next copy, or the next edition of Retro Fan is May 2022. And they said, let's do a drawing for a copy. You can see it. The list price of this magazine is $10.95 if you're going to order it. And the winner tonight is going to, they're going to have that edition sent to them directly to their home. So here's what I need you to do. Let me share my screen. Find the right screen to share. Hang on. Hold on, folks. I'm going to share this screen right. Oh, no. This one right here. Pull that up. There we go. I need everybody that is interested in winning this copy of, it hasn't even come out yet. It comes out in 2 weeks, so you won't be getting it for a couple of weeks at least. But anybody that would like this copy of Retro Fan Magazine, the May 2022 edition, Sergio Aragones from Mad Magazine is on the cover. There's another really super article on the Lone Ranger in animation, G.I. Joe, Route 66, George Maharis, if you know him from like West Side Story. This is a cool edition. I need you to do me the honor of typing in the chat #retro. I see 9 entries there, and I'm going to give folks, I don't know. Let's give them 30 more seconds. So let me put on a timer. There we go.
It's a great magazine. I am a subscriber. I get every issue by mail.
What I'm going to do is in the description section of this video, It's not there right now, but I'm going to put a link to subscribe to Retro Fan Magazine if you're interested. Again, I'm not sponsored. I am just a fan. Apparently, my friend Krazy Joe and Tom McCluskey told me about this magazine a long time ago, and now I'm a believer. So we got 18 entries, 19 entries. I'll stall for just a second more if anyone else wants to get their entry in there. 20 entries into the chat. Hashtag retro is what you need to do. And then I think I've stalled all I can. I'm going to slowly move my mouse over to the draw button. 21, 22. Okay, I'm clicking the button. Here we go. Nancy D, super fan Nancy D is the winner. So Nancy, what I need you to do, let me go ahead and click over here for a second. Let me put up an email address for you. There's the email address. I need you to send me your physical address that I can forward on to tomorrow's publication so that they can send you out that copy. And if you are a fan of this kind of stuff, you are just going to love this magazine. Trust me on this. I'll leave that email address up for just a few, probably 30 or so seconds more, Nancy, so you can get that, and then I'll take that off. All right. I know we're almost to the full hour, but we're going to start Superboy trivia. And if you have to drop at any point, Joe, feel free to do so. Okay.
Yeah, I am going to have to drop soon. But I did want to point out before I go that in the chat with us tonight, we had the Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase.
Oh, wow.
That is one of the moderators or admins over on the Superboy Theater Facebook page, which is a Facebook page dedicated to this show. There aren't many fan sites out there for this particular show. So if you're interested in it, go over to Facebook and join Superboy Theater.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And do they have a YouTube page as well, or is it just a Facebook page?
I think it's just a Facebook page.
Okay. Well, I will, when we go back and do questions, I'll make sure I highlight a couple of those so that folks can see just who you're referring to. Of course, they've been in the chat. They probably have seen the comments. It seemed to me like the Gerard Christopher Superboy Museum folks were answering questions while we were talking too. So thank you folks for doing that. Highly appreciated. All right, I'm going to take that email address off. Hopefully you've got that, Nancy D.
So I do need to get going. My wife.
That is absolutely fine, Joe. Let me take this off screen for just a second. Again, tell folks where they can find you and how they can subscribe to you.
It's Mega Podcastic here on YouTube. I also am doing an audio podcast. I've been doing the audio podcast much longer than the YouTube stuff, and that's you can wherever you get podcasts, whether it be Apple or I don't know where do people get podcasts these days. Spotify
or Apple, Spotify, absolutely, lots of places.
Exactly. So yeah, just Mega Podtastic. You'll find me and my good friend Mr. Jacob J2H. He's JTWOH here on YouTube. He's got his own channel, and the two of us together do the audio podcast.
That's awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us tonight, sir. Truly appreciate it. And I'm excited. Are you going to do anything for April Fool's tomorrow on the channel, or you got any gags you're planning on playing on the family?
No, I honestly, I'm not a fan of April Fool's because I always call April Fool's Stay Off the Internet Day because everybody makes up fake news stories, and I get excited by them. Like I'll be like, "Oh yeah, look at what they're doing. Look at this movie that's kind." And then it's like, "Oh, they fake." And I'm like, and sometimes if you don't catch the retraction,
right?
If you don't catch, then you don't know. And sometimes these news stories, like these sites put up there, and it's April 1st, and then they just sit there, and someone finds it 2-3 years later, and they're like, oh, there was this news. So I don't know. It kind of drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see tomorrow who posts an April Fool's gag news story about the Will Smith Chris Rock incident. So we'll see who's first to do that tomorrow. Someone will do it without a doubt. All right, my friend, go take care of your family. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right. So with that, let's keep moving, folks. I've got some questions for you. I've got 10 questions. Let's see how folks do. Now, the first few questions are just Superboy related, but if you're a Superman fan, you may know the answers as well. So let me pull those up on the screen. Here we go. So let's see how folks do tonight. And we'll keep track of scores. I'll probably check in about after the third question. All right. And first question is, when Superboy first appeared in comics, who was he? Was he Clark Kent's clone, Clark Kent's son, Dick Grayson, or a young Clark Kent? We'll see what folks think. Go ahead and you can answer the question in your head. You can put it in the chat. Whatever you feel like. Like I said, if you're a Superman fan, you may know the answer to more questions tonight than you think. And folks, don't look at the Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase because they're going to get 10 out of 10. They are going to get 10 out of 10 tonight. I have no doubt in my mind. And like Krazy Joe said, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's great to have you here. All right. So, correct answer for this one is young Clark Kent. All right. Let's keep moving. Question number 2. In what decade did Superboy originally debut? The 1930s, the 1940s, the 1950s, or the 1960s? Good night, Lance Chaffin. Great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us for the chat tonight and for the live stream. Again, that question is, in what decade did Superboy originally debut? Was it the 1930s? And this is Superboy in the comics, the 1940s, the 1950s, or the 1960s. Superboy in the comics. So I didn't really clarify that. So if someone put an answer, they can change their answer knowing I'm talking about the comics. And the correct answer is the 1940s. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll check scores. What planet does Superboy come from? Earth, Kobol, Krypton, or Pluto? What planet does Superboy come from? Earth, Kobol, Krypton, or Pluto? We'll give folks about 30 more seconds. It has been really a fun live stream tonight. I really enjoy talking with Krazy Joe. Folks, I gotta tell you, I don't know what he's going to do as he kind of thinks through his channel and what he might do in terms of changes and what he might make. But that is a heck of a great guy, and he definitely, if you think you might be interested in his videos, he definitely deserves your support. All right, correct answer is Krypton. Again, if you're a Superman fan, you knew the answer to that question. Before we go on to question 4, we'll just sit right here. Let's see some scores. All right, we've got Al Oduardi, who is 3 for 3. Nicely done, my friend. Kimberly Wiederhold is 2 of 3. Good job. I'm not a scorer, but thank you so much, Tracy. I love having you in the live streams. Superfan Miles High, 2 of 3. Nicely done. Good to have you here this evening. John Stammer, 2 of 3. Crow Minion, 1 of 3. Superfan Jill Carter, 2 of 3. Nick Momonis, 3 of 3. Shannon Burns, 2 of 3. Media Archive Mike, 2 of 3. Superfan Mike D, 2 of 3. Superfan Dave Claroni, 2 of 3. Dave Kerbal, 1 of 3. And My friend Tom, a.k.a. the Hungry Jerk, is 0 for 3 right now. Let's see who else we got. John, Superfan John Collins, 1 of 3. Mike Silva, 2 of 3. Superfan Nancy D, 2 of 3. Superfan Georgia Ayers, 2 of 3. Edgar Rice Burroughs, 3 of 3. And Spike's got 1 so far. Superfan Spike Spikerson. Yeah, I thought maybe that's a tougher one. If without looking it up, I might have even gone as early as the 30s. I might have gotten that one wrong. Drew Knight's 2 of 3. The Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcases 2 of 3. You are not a loser. You are not a loser, Tom. Stop that. All right, let's keep moving. Next question. What is Superboy's real name? Is it Jor-El, Kal-El, Kor-El, or Zor-El? Again, what is Superboy's real name? Jor-El, Kal-El, Kor-El, or Zor-El? All right, we'll give folks about 30 more seconds before we show the answer. A couple of comments I noticed earlier tonight. Tom said, I've never seen Superboy. Isn't that a 2000 show? Why is Dave doing new stuff? Well, Crazy Joe corrected me in that that show aired originally in 88. So falls within my decades. I thought I was cheating a little bit. I thought it was a 90s show originally, but and hopefully that answers your question. Again, Daryl Johnston, thanks for reminding folks to hit the like button. It's appreciated. Truly appreciated. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Let's get the answer for this one. Correct answer is Kal-El. Kal-El. And let's move on to question number 5. What group of superheroes, this is a comic book question again, did Superboy originally team up with? Was it the Avengers, Justice League, Legion of Superheroes, or Teen Titans? All right. Let's see. I'm going to look at a couple more comments while I let folks think about that. Again, what group of superheroes did Superboy originally team up with? The Avengers, Justice League, Legion of Superheroes, or Teen Titans? Okay, and while we're doing that, I'm going to pull up one more comment that I noticed earlier. Let's see. John Collins, way early in the live stream, said, how many people in the chat have at least one copy of Remind magazine? It is very well written and worth it. It is everything it says it is and more. Absolutely. It is one of my favorite magazines, and I really enjoy reading it. It's one of those that you can pick up, read for 10 minutes, play a crossword if you want to, and set back down. All's good. Hello, Brooklyn gal from Superboy Theater. Don't know if you're still here with us, but great to have you here. Barry King, always a treat to have you with us, my friend. Always a treat to have you with us. Okay, let's get out of these comments real quick, and let's get an answer here. Correct answer is the Legion of Superheroes. As a matter of fact, that was the Superboy comic morphed into something called Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So looks like a lot of folks got it right. Now let's focus on the TV show. So it might get a little more difficult, although I will tell you this. If you were listening to our conversation, I think there's a lot of hints that might have been given as we talked tonight. Question number 6. How many actors played Superboy during the show's run? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Brooklyn Gal is also the Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase. Great to have you with us. And it looks like that's a channel, right? The Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase is an actual YouTube channel that we have here. Folks, if you're a fan of this kind of stuff, check it out. Definitely check it out. Okay, 1. How many actors played Superboy during the show's 4-season run? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let's go ahead and show the correct answer, and then we'll get scores. There we go. 2. John Hames Newton and Gerard Christopher. I need to focus on what's on the screen and not in the chat. I'm not a great multitasker. Okay, so let's look at some scores here. Folks, tell me your score. Al Duarte's 4 of 5, but I think we've done 6 now, so I need some updated scores. Chrome Minion, 3 of 6. Good job. Kimberly Wiederhold, 4 of 6. Let's see, give me some more scores, folks. Miles High, Superfan Miles High, 3 of 6. Not bad at all. Dave Kerbo says 3 out of 6. Thanks for the help with the pronunciation. Tom, come on. You didn't even get Krypton? It's all good, my friend. All good. Now, did I see earlier a comment about you working at Little Caesars? Like I said, 2 of my 3 sons have worked at Little Caesars as well. Emily Miller, 5 of 6. Shannon Burns, 4 of 5. Custom God, 2 of 2. Nick Mamonis, 4 of 6. John Stemmer, 4 of 6. Superfan Mike D, 4 of 6. Corbett, a.k.a. Zazu, is 5 of 6. Superfan Jill Carter, 5 of 6. Brenda Bunch, great to have you with us. You can just join in. We've got a few more questions tonight. Superfan Dave Claroni, 4 of 6. Edgar Rice Burroughs, 6 of 6. Rocking it in the house tonight. Superfan George Ayers, 4 of 6. Media Archive Mike, 5 of 6. Mike Silva, 4 of 6. James Dye, 3 of 6. Let's see. Drew Knight's got 2 so far, correct? And let's see. Are there any more scores here? Emily Miller says 5 will likely be my final score. You never know, Emily. You never know. You never know. Yeah, Little Caesars does have a Batman pizza. As a matter of fact, earlier on, I played a video from the Krazy Joe where he had went and tried out the Batman calzone. All right, 5 of 6 for the Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase. Mike Silva's 4 of 5. Drew Knight's 4 of 6. Al Duarte's 5 of 6. Let's keep moving. Question 7. Superboy actor Gerard Christopher was younger than which of, these actors who played Superman? Superboy actor Gerard Christopher was younger than which of these actors who played Superman? Brandon Routh, he was in Superman Returns. Christopher Reeve, the original Superman in the movies. Well, George Reeves is actually the original in the movies, but from the 1978 movie, Christopher Reeve. And Henry Cavill is the more recent Superman from feature films as well, or none of them. Superboy actor Gerard Christopher was younger than which of these actors who played Superman? This is when he was making Superboy. All right, we'll give folks a minute or 2 more. Do I have any more comments that I starred? Let's see. Yeah, here's that. Tom says, I used to manage 8 stores for Little Caesars in California. Had to fire so many people that didn't like doing it. You know, I have 3 boys. 2 of them have worked at Little Caesars. One of them really liked it, had a lot of fun, and that's probably because he had a lot of buddies working there with him. The other one didn't like it as much, for sure. All right, correct answer for this question is none of them. Gerard Christopher, when he was hired to be Superboy, was 29 years old, older than any of these actors who played Superman. So he had a very youthful appearance. All right, question 8. Which character was played by the same actor throughout the show's entire run? Was it Lena Lang, Lex Luthor, Superboy / Clark Kent, or none of them? The show ran for 4 seasons. Which character was played by the same actor throughout the show's entire run? Emily Miller says, I loved Little Caesars. I was pregnant at the time and had to go next door to buy pineapple for my pizza. Nice. I love pineapple on my pizza, by the way. Love, love, love it. The Gerard Christopher and Superboy fan showcase says he was very close to Cavill in age. Makes sense. Makes sense. That's going back to the last question. All right, again, the question is, which character was played by the same actor throughout the show's entire run? Lena Lang, Lex Luthor, Superboy / Clark Kent, or none of them? The correct answer is Lena Lang, played by Stacey Hajduk. Lena Lang. All right. Oh, yes, Tom. Yes way. I also like I like jalapeno on my pizza too. Not pineapple and jalapeno, but they both go well as a complement to, whether it's like Canadian bacon with pineapple or sausage or pepperoni with jalapeno. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And Krazy bread is phenomenal, David Kerbo. You're absolutely correct. So good. Love it, love it, love it. All right, just making me hungry thinking about it. Next question, question 9. In the show, where does Superboy attend college? Is it Florida State, Schuster University, Siegel University, or Smallville Tech? Again, the question is, in the show, where does Superboy attend college? Florida State, Schuster University, Siegel University, or Smallville Tech? Emily, this is where I have to disagree with you. Anchovies on pizza, just not my thing, but I know there are a lot of folks that like it. Okay. We'll give folks just a minute. Well, not even a minute. About 30 seconds more. By the way, Aldowardi has taken 3 guesses, but he's 7 of 8. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Spike Spikerson, the super fan Spike Spikerson, says pineapple and anything pizza. Nicely done. Nicely done. Garlic on pizza? I guess it probably depends on the pizza whether I would want that. All right. Let's go ahead and answer this question. Correct answer, Schuster University. You'll notice that it was the Siegel School of Journalism or something like that at Schuster University. Clark was, preparing to be a reporter. And his roommate during the first season was T.J. White, son of Perry. Okay. And Schuster and Siegel, those are the last names of the creators of Superman. Joe Schuster and Jerry Siegel, I believe. All right, let's look at scores real quick. Folks, show me your scores. Tell me how you're doing. Chromanian's 3 of 9. What else do we have here? Give me some more scores. Mike Silva's joined us a little late, but he's 6 of 6, rocking it tonight. Anyone else want to share their score before we move on? Give folks a second or two more to plop in a score into the chat section. Miles High, super fan Miles High is 6 of 9. Dave Kerbo's 4 of 9. John Stemmer's 5 of 9. So some great scores so far. Emily Miller's rocking it tonight, 7 of 9. Superfan Mike D, 6 of 9. Kimberly Wiederhold, over 50%, 5 of 9. Superfan Dave Claroni, 7 of 9. Media Archive Mike, 8 of 9. Gerard Christopher and Superboy Fan Showcase, 8 of 9. Doing very well as well. Edgar Rice Burroughs, 9 of 9. Al Oduardi's, 8 of 10. Wait, we haven't had 10 questions yet. Jill Carter is 8 of 9. Jim Backus, good to have you here. 5 of 9. Let's see. I did not know that Schuster and Siegel, or Siegel was Canadian, but great. Good. Corbett, a.k.a. Zadzu, 7 of 9. James Dye lost track. That's okay. Just play along with us and have fun. Superfan Nancy D's 2 of 9, but you are the big winner tonight, winning that copy of Retro Fan Magazine. Can't wait to have those folks send it out to you. Nick Momona says 5 of 9. George Ayers says pineapple and mushrooms. Okay. Drew Knight's 5 of 9, not bad at all, over 50%. Let's see. Superfan George Ayers is 7 of 9. Danny Staten is just watching, brain not up for trivia tonight. That's okay. Sometimes you are in those modes. I know I've gotten in those modes before myself. All right, let's move on to question number 10. Here we go. Which actor from the show also auditioned for Lois and Clark? Gerard Christopher, John Hames Newton, Stacey Hyduke, or Scott Wells? Again, the question is, which actor from the show also auditioned for Lois and Clark? Gerard Christopher, John Hames Newton, Stacey Hyduke, or Scott Wells? Okay, we'll give folks a second to answer that question, either in your head, in your noggin, or in the chat, whatever you prefer. Let me see if there's anything else over here in the comments. Oh, Gia Johnson was here earlier. Don't know if she's still here. Says, I just subscribed to Megapodtastic. Awesome. Great to have you here with us, Gia. Jill Carter says, Dave, I've not gotten my package yet. So that was the Love Boat DVDs. I sent it via Media Mail last Friday, I think. So it's typical for it maybe to take 5 to 7 days when you go Media Mail. So I wouldn't worry about that yet. But thanks for giving me an update. Here we go. I saw this comment and started a while back. Hello, I'm an admin for the Superboy Theater Facebook group. Thanks for posting your link earlier today. Nice to see a discussion on the show. Well, it's great to have you here, and thank you for all your hard work in keeping the show alive, Brooklyn Gal. Okay. Tom, I got a message today saying that something has arrived for me in my P.O. box, so I'm going to check it tomorrow. I'll give you an update if I find out it's from you. Okay, let's see. Let's get over here and answer this question. Correct answer is Gerard Christopher. Interestingly enough, Gerard Christopher auditioned for the role of Clark Kent Superman in Lois and Clark, and it was towards the tail end of the auditions. And from the way that Gerard tells the story, they loved him. As a matter of fact, one of the guys in the casting room, after he had read, threw his paper to the ground and said, we've got him. And then he started to look through Gerard Christopher's resume, and he noticed that he had previously played Superman. And then he got visibly frustrated and said, I think they wanted something fresh, right? To reuse the same actor. As good as Gerard Christopher was, just wasn't the direction they wanted to take the show. Okay. One more question. Yeah, I know we've done 10, but this is a bonus question, and then we'll get final scores. Which Superman villain did not make an appearance on Superboy? Bizarro, General Zod, Lex Luthor, or Mr. Mixie-Zip-Link? I really struggle with that. I've heard it a million times. I still can't say it. Mitsapitalik. Mr. Mitsapitalik. I'm not going to say that again. Which Superman villain did not make an appearance on Superboy? Bizarro, Zod, Luthor, or that guy? All right, we'll give folks a moment. This was a did not make an appearance. Not did make an appearance. Kimberly, I do believe that Dean Cain was the right choice as well. Brooklyn Gal says, I would have loved to see Gerard on Lois and Clark, but they didn't want competing shows, wanted something fresh, a host of reasons, I'm sure. Exactly. All right. Let's go ahead and give the final answer here. It is General Zod. Zod did not make an appearance. Mixapitalik made there I did. I said it again. Probably said it wrong, but he made an appearance, multiple appearances, as did Bizarro, and Luthor made multiple appearances as well. I do not, to the best of my recollection, remember Zod ever showing up on the show. Let's get final scores, folks. That was a bonus question, so it's out of 10. So if you got that one right, you just count it towards your out of 10. So you can potentially get 11 out of 10 if you got them all right. Mike Silva got 9 out of 10. Good job. John Stemmer, 7 out of 10. Emily Miller, 7 out of 10. Let's see. Mike Silva, 9 out of 10. Dave Kerbo, 5 out of 10. Jill Carter, 10 out of 10. Nicely done, superfan Jill Carter. Al Oduardi, 8 out of 10. Well done. Superfan Miles High, 6 out of 10. Crow Minions, 3 out of 10. Superfan Mike D, 6 out of 10. Yes, Metallo also appeared on Superboy. You are correct. Media Archive Mike, 9 out of 10. Kimberly Wiederhold, 6 out of 10. Nick Momona, 6 out of 10. Dave Claroni, 8 out of 10. Gerard Christopher, Superboy Fan Showcase, 9 out of 10. Superfan Georgia Ayers, 7 out of 10. Let's see. Tom, don't do that. Don't worry. We'll have a topic that you're more adept at next week. Corbett, a.k.a. Zadzu, 8 out of 10. Edgar Rice Burroughs, 11 out of 10. Superfan Miles High says, never seen the show. Laughing out loud. And I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had fun. So I'm going to go back here, and I know there was at least one question. Let me see. Let's go ahead and take this off of the screen. Here I am. Let's do this. Let's see. There's some questions I want to answer. So going over the comments section. There was a question from John Collins way early. Says, this was to Joe. So he says, Joe, I think your defense about Deadpool not needing an R rating was veracious and totally correct, and very underrated by the other live stream channel. Yes, Joe caught some flack for saying that Deadpool didn't need to be R rated. And I'm actually in agreement with Joe on that. Now, I think, did I enjoy Deadpool as is, as an R rated movie? Yes, I did. Now, I also enjoyed Once Upon a Deadpool, and perhaps I watched it more, or enjoyed it more, because I watched it with my boys and felt more comfortable watching that movie with my boys because of the PG-13 rating that re-edited version of Deadpool 2 garnered once they went in and did a little work on it. So I'm with Crazy Joe on that, and I see the benefit of, I think, as we see Deadpool move over to Disney Plus and become more of a Disney property, where he's going to be more of a PG-13 character. I really do not think that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But great question, John. I'm going to see if I can. It's hard to scroll back and catch. I'm going to look and see if there's any questions. If you asked a question, I'm not going to be able to go back and find the rest of them. I'd love to answer them now if you have a question for me. Otherwise, we'll just call it a night. And I'm cool with that too. We're going on an hour and a half. Let me go ahead and throw some comments up here. Edgar Rice Burroughs says, there are clips of Superboy on YouTube. Yes, lots of great clips, and it's a fun show. And Superboy, seasons 1 through 4, which, as we were talking about earlier, was a kind of lost TV show for a long time, is now available to stream on Tubi for free. So, fire up the Tubi app and you're going to find a lot of great stuff on Tubi. But Superboy is one of those things you can watch. You're very welcome, Jill. Please keep me in the loop on that. Hopefully you'll get that package in just a couple of days. Emily Miller, yeah, what's not to love about Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool? There you go. I'm a big fan of Ryan Reynolds as well. Loved The Atom Project. If you watched The Atom Project, it was great. He was perfect as Deadpool, without a doubt. And it was a labor of love for Ryan Reynolds. He really loves that character. He played Deadpool once in Wolverine's Origins, which was not a great movie. And Deadpool was not a great character in that show. I'm interested in why you didn't like Deadpool 2, James. One of these days we'll have to talk about that, because to me they feel like similar movies. Yes, the hour and a half always go quick. I wish work went as fast as well. Let's see. But I don't know how. I enjoyed Top Gun when it first came out years and years ago. I haven't been all that excited for the new Top Gun movie, and the longer they delay it, the less excited I get. Superfan John Collins asks, will there be a live stream dedicated to Bruce Willis based on his side retirement? Don't know. I hadn't immediately thought about doing that. I'll consider it, John, but I would probably be more likely to do something on moonlighting and talk about Bruce in that. Edgar Rice Burroughs says, you've got a great channel, Dave. Well, thank you so much. Great job on the trivia tonight. Great job on the trivia. All right, let's see what else we got here. BK on the air was 7 of 9. Nice job, Barry. Good work. I expect you to do well on this stuff. Thank you, Justine, for the kind words. Let's see what else we got. Glad you had a good time tonight, Tom. Yes, thanks, everybody. Unnecessary, but aren't most sequels truly? Aren't most sequels? All right. Is there anything else? Any other questions? Let's see. Nick Momona says, but I heard Val Kilmer and his daughter are both in the new Top Gun film. I really enjoyed the documentary Val that is on Amazon Prime right now. Talks about some of the things that Val Kilmer has gone through, and I'd be interested in seeing how they handle the Val Kilmer Iceman character on that in that movie, given the struggles that he has health-wise. Let's see. Tom says, can't wait to meet you at CroftCon. Yeah, we got to figure out a way to hook up and at least say hi while we're there. It's going to be interesting because that Orinda Theater is, I'm struggling to understand how we're going to move about in that theater other than sitting in the seats and watching the presentations on stage. But hopefully it's more like a traditional convention and we'll have a chance to visit. Look forward to seeing you there as well. Okay. Dave Kerbo says, you've not done a Batman live stream. Put it on your list. I have, but it's been a long time ago. So I will add it to my list because that's one of the shows that I love talking about most. Let's see. Superfan Dave Claroni says, I was thinking Top Gun came out in 86 and the sequel comes out this year. That has to be the longest span between two movies. Yeah, it's a very long span. What was the span between the two Blade Runner movies? Because that initial Blade Runner movie came out in what, 81, 82? Somewhere around there. Good night, Nancy D. Superfan Nancy D. Nick Momona says, I liked Val too. You're very welcome, James. Always great to have you here. Edgar Iceborough says, why doesn't Hollywood make something new for once? Well, it's hard to make something totally creative and new. Sequels, while I look forward to some sequels, I think Hollywood has sequelitis and really struggles with coming up with new ideas. And even new shows, like I really love The Atom Project, which I just mentioned a minute ago that Ryan Reynolds is in. And it's a new story, but it's an old story, right? It has echoes of movies long since past. And it's part of what makes it fun. So I cheer originality. At the same time, I applaud when a movie comes along that makes me just kind of hits all the right buttons nostalgically. Thank you for the kind words, Emily. Appreciate that. Tom says his dad worked with Val Kilmer. Awesome. Adrian James asks if I remember Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man. Sure do. As a matter of fact, I've done a video on that Spider-Man TV show, and I mentioned in my next video that will be published tomorrow, I mentioned Nicholas Hammond, or I mentioned the Spider-Man TV show, albeit briefly. Let's see. My superfan Mike D asks, will you have a post-convention review of CroftCon? Yes, indeed, I sure will. We'll do something there. Perhaps Pat and I will do something together. Nick Momonis asks, do you like Superman and Lois? The episodes I've seen, I have enjoyed. I worry that it's going to go down the same route as so many of the CW shows, which is I really like the first couple of seasons, and then I for whatever reason, kind of grow wary of them. So that was definitely the case with Arrow and The Flash. But, we'll see. So far, so good. Edgar Rice Burroughs says, I remember CBS Superman loved the episode where CBS Spider-Man loved the episode where Isis appeared. Yeah, Joanna Cameron showed up on an episode. She wasn't Isis in the show. Hang on one second. Got a little something in my eye. It started bothering me. Emily, you are a lady. One of the finest. Show them the cool Batman picture. Well, I'm going to have to point to it. Let's see. Right there. You see right above my shoulder there? That is from my friend Danny Staten. It is an autographed Batman picture. Adam West and Burt Ward. I'm not going to take it off the wall now because it's on. It's going to stay there. And it would be a real hassle to get off. But thanks again for that, Danny. I had a lot of fun. Opening up that box and adding those items. You can see down here, if you'll see right, let's see, over here. I can't do it. Anyway, as you look at me over my left shoulder, you can see the YouTube 100,000 play button. You can see an Adam West action figure there too that Danny sent me, as well as a Don Knotts. autograph photo. All good. BK on the air says, with the tech they used to synthesize Mark Hamill's voice in the Book of Boba Fett, I'm sure they can do the same thing with Val's voice in Maverick. You're probably right. You're probably right, Barry. Let's see. Superman and Lois is way better than any of the recent Superman films. I actually am one of those that loved Man of Steel. The ending, yeah, I know it's controversial, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't love Batman versus Superman as much, but I do like Superman and Lois. Yes, I need to watch some of these episodes, this Japanese Spider-Man episodes. I think there's some on YouTube, and I plan on watching those. John Collins asks if I've ever vacationed in Northwest Florida. I would enjoy a lunch. If I ever do, we shall hook up. I went to Florida probably 5-6 years ago with my wife. We went on a cruise and we embarked there, got on the ship and got off there, and it was fun. Dave Claroni, superfan Dave Claroni says, Dave, did you ever watch You Can't Do That on TV? No, I didn't. I'm aware of it, but I never watched that show. Let's see. Oh, yes, Joanna Cameron was so beautiful. So sad that we lost her last year. Adam West was the best Batman and is the Batman we need most now in these turbulent times. If ever we needed a bright night, it's now. All right, folks, I think I am going to call it a night. Let me just say this. Boy, it's been an awesome evening. It's been so much fun. I've really, really enjoyed having Krazy Joe on with me. And I really enjoyed... Oh, one more comment I want to catch. Blade Runner 2049. 35 years between the two. That is a long time between sequels. But I really enjoyed this live stream tonight and appreciate the level of engagement that I always see and the kindness, how polite everybody is to each other. And that's important, right? Because we're a community here. And as we've witnessed over the course of the last week, they're just, you know what? The world is a place now where we need to double down on kindness and be as polite and as courteous and try to be, you know what? Years ago, I remember hearing a person talk about tolerance, and I'm going to tell you, it hit me. I thought, wow, this person is on to something, and we need to be more tolerating of others. And I've changed my mind on that. Tolerance is not what this world needs. Acceptance is what this world needs. We need to accept each other for who we are, for the wonderful, unique people that we all are. And so, I just, as I've, watched all sorts of events this last week in the news, I felt important to say that. And I hope everybody will do their very best to have a great remainder of this week and do whatever you can to make someone else's week great as well. All right, folks. Thanks again for joining me this evening. Be kind. Rewind.